M0FXB, welcome to my channel, RETEVIS RT3S with the OPENGD77 firmware. Let's see what all the buttons and settings do. M0FXB, welcome to my channel. We're on the RETEVIS RT3S and it's running the OPENGD77 firmware. I thought I'd show you what some of the buttons do, and as you can hear, sounds excellent and works well. And right now we're in channel mode or memory mode, and we're on talk group 91. So just showing you the buttons. Let's start with the red button. If we push the red button now, that's VFO mode. If we push it again, that's memory mode. If we go back to VFO mode and then hold the button, it's very small, but up here it says FM. Let's do that again, hold it down. And it now says DMR. We're now on a DMR channel, but in VFO mode. Hold it again, FM. Another interesting thing is when you're in FM analog, you hold down the hash button, you get a nice scope. You can move the noise floor up and down as well, just by pushing the down arrow or the up arrow when it's scoping. You can also change the bandwidth that it's scanning, just by pushing the function button here and then turning the middle channel change knob. Goes from, I think 125, is it? Or it goes a bit lower, so it's quite good, all the way up to 1000. And then to come out, just press that again. When you're in VFO normal mode, analog mode, the star button, if you press it, it toggles you between FM narrow and FM. If we change to DMR mode, we'll just go to hold it down again, the red button, DMR, and then we push the star. If you look here, it says time slot 1. So it's going time slot 1, time slot 2. Go back to channel mode. Just push the F, we're now in hotspot mode. And then what we'll do, we'll push the hash once. And it says talk group entry, and we can now type in any talk group we like. So say 91 that we're already on. Push the green button, and then that's it. Now we can talk on that channel and we can stay on it as long as we like. If we push the hash again, or twice, then you get private call. So I could put in a DMR number of my friend, push the hash. So let's just say his number is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Green button. He's in, and now we can talk, but it's a private call. Back to the hash button here. We go 1, 2, 3. Then you can select a contact from the list that you've already got. And you scroll through those contacts, but with the up and down arrows. We've got Parrot there, so not sure if we're connected. We'll give it a go. So we'll go. Actually, push the hash again. Turn the mic up. It might not work.
Contact, talk group, protocol and contact, TG9, talk group entry, protocol and contact.
Contact, then we'll go to Parrot. We have to push Parrot, and then we can go M0FXB test. M0FXB test. Yeah, so that worked. And I'm using 9990 on PyStar, but if it's on OpenSpot, I use 9999, and we could select disconnect as well if we want. Just go nice and loud.
Protocol entry, contact
There's disconnect there, so let's try that. Push the green key. We should disconnect.
Not linked.
And have you noticed there's a big white line here? It could be a black line if you invert the color, and that's basically a signal meter, and there's more functionality with that. So I'll say that we're calling this on the side here, we're calling, it's quite hard to zoom in. this button that was, I'll say we're calling it the function button. I haven't seen a diagram of what from OpenGD yet of what the RT3 buttons are. Obviously that's the PTT. Let's just try the very top button here. See what it does, the one above the PTT. Which, just so you know, when you put this into firmware mode, you do hold down this PTT here, the top button, and then turn it on, and you're in firmware mode. And the LED, which is green and red, flashes. So let's just push the top function button. So seems to be reading out what I'm doing when I push it. And it also, what's that? It's telling me where what the channel's connected to. So it's not showing me the channel memory details, it's showing me the actual channel, which is quite handy. Let's put it into FM analog. So analog mode, if I push that top button, yeah, it tells you where you are and what you're connected to by the looks of it. PC, private core 4000. If we change to a different core and then push it, yeah, it's basically telling you what you're doing. Another thing I've noticed, if you're in analog mode, so that says DMR, if we hold it, we're now in FM analog, you can see the signal meter there. And we now start to push the hash. It allows us to do DTMF. Let's delete with the red button. So let's go hash, and I would go *34152 for my all-star node, and you hit the green. Now you hear that tone, but I've tested this. It does work with my all-star node, although we just hear a continuous tone. So let's back out. You've got 250 milliwatts showing at the top here. So if you want to change the power, the quick way is to hold this button here and then just go up and down, look, with the arrows. It's going all the way up to 5 and down. It goes right down, because this radio can be a hotspot, so you need to get the power level correct. So I pretty think that's everything on the front panel that I can remember. GPS is turned on. If you get the GPS model, you may as well. And then you've got your main menu, which is that button. It does have satellite mode, but it needs to be configured correctly. I think that's your signal meter, RSSI. There you go. Firmware model. You do have to import, you know, it's talking to me. You import that. They call it voice prompts, but it is click click. And you also have to import a thing they call kept, which is to do with satellite information. If you're going to use the satellite side of it, which I will do one day. Empty list means no one's, as far as after reading, it means there's no one in my vicinity, so there's no list to look at, but you get a list of the satellites that are near you. That's the battery. We'll look at options in a minute. Language, firmware, signal meter, channel details. So there's a shortcut to this. It's showing you all your channel details, color code, everything, and some of these are changeable, some aren't. Back with that, back with the red button. Your contacts, you've seen all that before. Even you can, looks like you can pre-configure DTMF. Let's have a look. So I'll have to teach myself how to do that, although I just manual dial. That's the DMR contacts. I've just done a manual one, but you can have, you know, many contacts. Now, new contact, does it allow me to create? Yeah, look, it allows me to create a new contact as well in that menu. Zone, click zone. That's the zones I've got. I thought that was blue the other day when I saw it. See, it's blue. I wasn't sure if it was a reflection, but that is actually blue. So when we've got a good GPS lock. I got a feeling we're going to get some nice colour lines here, so I'm going to go outside and test that. So this is the OPENGD77 firmware. Now the options one, you have your display options, and you've got brightness control here, which as far as I can see you don't have on a normal RT73. This is the dual band model, by the way. There's your main brightness. Mode squelch. Not sure why you got that in display. Oh, manual, buttons. Yeah, I have to put it in different modes and see. Maybe it's about controlling, you know, yeah, we definitely have to try that one out. I'll leave it in squelch for now. Brightness, you've got a minimum, so how dark you ever want it to go. UTC, time zone, LEDs, battery percentage. And that's in display options. Color invert, we'll do that one. Just turn the top knob, middle knob, and you get the black and white screen. It looks better in the, you know, than on camera. Okay. Radio options. Again, lots of settings there. User power. Different squelch. Scan modes, filter. I mean, it's just definitely very good to use, a lot of fun to use. Quite straightforward to load once you're prepared. General options. GPS on, yeah, we've got that on at the moment. The battery life seems quite good, I think. You know, getting 4 or 5 hours, no problem at all out of it. I'd say longer. Basically, you know, you get a day out of it, and then it needs charging. And the spare batteries are £20 on these, so it's not too bad. You just put the spare battery in the charger. I think it's actually quite cheap to buy both at the same time. You could have a spare charger. With the radios, you can pick them up quite low price second hand, like £60 used, 60, 70 used. And so if you get a spare radio, and just keep the charger and the charging lead and the battery as a spare. The radio is a bonus. Anyway, lots of settings there, and then we've got sound options, timeout, beep volume, DMR beep, RX beep, talk alias, which I haven't used yet. It says not applicable. Maybe we're in analog mode, but I'm going to test that today, I think, and do some video on that. And as far as I can see, it does load up the whole CSV database. Somehow they've better used the memory that is on this radio to do that. So I'm sure I've forgotten some things, but you know, it's MD380 UV model, dual band model. I've got obviously the RT3S model. These are quite budget, but this one works well. The problem, I've got another MD380 and everything works fine except for the red button is very stiff. You have to push it quite hard. And you'll think, well, why change it from the original? Well, it's definitely a better radio to use with this firmware, 100%. Would I like to see a nice color screen? Yeah, I would, because I like color screens. But from a functionality point of view, from using it, manual dial, when I spoke to people, even the black and white screen, actually, because the case is black, I've grown to quite like it. So, but if we could choose colours, choose the background, choose the colours, you know, I'm going to look in to see if there's a selection on the display to change the size of the letters. It could do with being just a bit bolder, I would say. But that's it. Well, thanks for watching my channel, and thanks very much to the OPENGD77 team for doing this firmware and the updates, and lots more updates to come. This is what they call apparently the alpha model, so it's not the finished model, but I'm enjoying it. Bye for now, 7.3.